Hi, welcome to YouTube, home of the 10-minute how to fill a Zippo lighter video, the 5-minute how to make a toast video, and the very short how to repair an Asteroids edge connector video. I know what you're thinking, there's no way he can show how to do this in under 20 minutes. Well, I've had a lot of free time on my hands lately. I am currently unemployed. Now, this is an old arcade game. This is an Asteroids Deluxe. It's the mini Cabaret version, which is really extraneous information. But I'm actually halfway done with the process right now. You know, you can order a new connector from various places online. I got mine from Bob Roberts. So basically, you pull out all the wires on the edge connector and replace the pins too. It comes with the plastic connector and a whole bunch of nice pins. This probably won't get it working because, again, I'm not a very good tech, but it's one thing that you need to do to get these old games working. All right, so in order to attempt this, you're going to need a few tools. This is a crimper. You have the parts up here which actually crimp, and then you have the stripper sections here. I did say stripper for the juvenile people out there. You're going to need a wire snipper to snip the ends off the problem wires, which is a lot of them. Ideally, you want to replace every single pin, so you're going to have to snip off every single wire and re-crimp a pin on every piece of wire. Alright, so before we go any further, I'm sure you want to know where you're going to crimp on the pin. You have 2 points, and it's important you do them in the right order. The first point is the rear one, which actually crimps the insulation on the wire, the rubber part of the wire, and that's that one right there. You crimp that one first. After you crimp that one, it's got a good hold on it, you move to the second one. Now this is the part right here that actually crimps the copper wire part. So after you have that one crimped, move on to this one, crimp it, and then you're ready to put it in the connector. Now this is a very time-consuming process. This is not something that you can do in like 20 minutes, at least for me. This is probably something that's going to take you a few hours, so you know, maybe do it whenever your wife or girlfriend isn't home, because when you pay more attention to arcade games than them, they get upset, I found. You're going to need the Sharpie to mark off the parts and to actually write this side out on the connector so you don't screw that up. That's very important that the pins go in the exact same spots because it'll screw up your game. You're going to have to get somebody that knows more than you to repair it then, because that's a big deal. Next, I would recommend 2 tiny, the smallest jeweler, I can't say that word, the smallest jeweler screwdrivers you can get. Sometimes paper clips work better. Anything this size or smaller, but also it's got to have a certain hardness, because if it bends whenever it goes in there, it's not going to be ideal. Maybe a pair of pliers like a Leatherman or something. Alright, so next is removing pins from the connector. On the edge connector it says this side out. A lot of game boards will say component side, because these are your components on your board, like your capacitors and shit. And this will be the solder side. It'll sometimes say solder side. It doesn't on here, but I guess that's a tip for other connectors. So you have your component side, this side out, and you have your solder side, the side that's on the other side of the board where most of the solder points are. There's a little notch there, and basically what you're going to do is apply pressure by pushing forward, and ideally you're going to get a nice pop, like a little pop letting you know that there's a little piece of metal that has released from the plastic. If my wire comes out the back, it's been giving me some problems, and it's coming right out the back. Then we strip it, take the new pin off. Probably millions of better crimping videos on the internet. This is to show you the whole process, not the actual technique. Alright, so you have to make sure that the rear one is hugging the insulation pretty well. So I'm going to crimp the front one with the proper tool. You got to hold it with this hand. Well, alright, so that's a pretty decent crimp. It's not coming out of there. And the rounded side faces the interior of the connector. You're going to hear a snap when it goes in. Or 2 snaps apparently. Alright, so I'm going to take the second one out here. I'm going to do this one more time just so you see this well. I mean, I guess you could always go back to the beginning of this video. Pop. And this one looks like it's going to come out pretty easy. We're going to cut it. And I'm going to strip it right here. Grab a pin. Look at that one. That one went right on there. I mean, I guess you could see it if I wasn't blocking it. Alright, I'm going to do the next one now. We're listening for that click sound. That didn't sound good. And here it comes out. The last one is going in, and click. So there you have it. There is the new edge connector put on successfully, and the old one is right here. It's probably not a good idea to take them out and use the same one because, as you can see, I fucked it up pretty good.